Hi, I like to amend something because I'm stupid. So, know how I said last time that I mostly thought that Sonic stories aren't that good? Well, let me amend that by saying I like Sonic Adventure 1, 2, Unleashed, Heroes, and Generations story in terms of the 3D space. I have mixed feelings about Lost World and blah, 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 blah. Not really relevant, and I love Sonic Frontiers. I think it has, well, some of the best story in the entire series, actually. So, I just wanted to say that because I'm such an idiot who who was riding off the high of his completion of Sonic Frontiers. The main story, anyway. Anyway, let's get back to it. Why is it taking forever to load? Well, dang, the first recording session since I got back, and I see infinite loading. Well, guess I'm reloading. This is an incredible start so far. There we go. There we go. Now we're back in business, baby. Alright, finally, we're back with Sonic Frontiers, everybody. Last time we defeated the end and saved all of our friends. But at what cost? Actually, none, because Sage is alive. Sort of. Maybe. So today, we're gonna do a little bit of some extra things. Cause, well, let's face it. I have a long journey of getting every single memory token ahead of me, so I need to get on that and, like, right now-ish. So, first off, in our little post-game shenanigans, when it really comes to post-game content, really it's just stuff you missed. Like, if I'm gonna be honest here, most of the post-game can just be equated to as, you know, completing action challenges or completing stuff that you've already have done. Or not really already done, but getting stuff that you've missed on your little journey. But thankfully, I didn't have to do any of that except for memory tokens. So, I'm just gonna spend, like, every waking moment of my life trying to get the rest of every single memory token just to show you the new completion reward at the end. Because as you can see, well, I did Chronos Island already, but it's only because that was a failed recording attempt. So, I got everything in Chronos Island already because it's literally just memory tokens and, you know, action chain challenges that are all basically alike and whatnot, so, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna switch over the difficulty to normal, because, you know that Ikaruga boss fight that we just witnessed that was really cool and not underwhelming at all? Well, that's only available in hard mode, because that was basically stated in a pinned comment in the previous video. So, that was the thing. So, I'm gonna show off this boss fight in normal mode and effectively easy difficulty. So, I'm just gonna skip through all of this so we can get on with the show. Now, while we're fighting Supreme here, while he ain't shit, clearly not ain't shit, I feel like this final battle here in hard mode is basically a 1-2 punch for me. A 1-2 punch because, well, I called Supreme's attacks familiar. And animations familiar, too. While Supreme does have new things to go off of, like parrying these lasers and the bullet hell stuff that he's got going on there, Supreme is literally just Giganto, but the final boss. And would you look at that, I'm already almost killing him already. Basically, I'm killing him. And then I'm gonna kill him again. Yeah, max attack and Supreme's defenses are really, are really just not it at all. Like, honestly, like, Supreme is a decent fight, and that's the thing. He's decent, not grandiose, not cool, not really awesome like the other Titans have been. Like, the interesting bit here is the bullet hell things that he does, where you have to navigate through all of this just to get to him, just to get to Supreme and whatnot. And the way to beat him is also pretty unique too, or at least deal a lot of damage to him. But he's literally just Giganto, but he moves around a lot. See, even the Grand Slam is basically the same. Like, even me side-looping Supreme, it's just basically all goes down to the same thing. And that's what it looks like when you knock him down via side-looping. And the sad thing is, it's like, this boss fight can go really quickly because of the sole fact that, you know, that happens. You do the Grand Slam on him, and you literally decimate his health bar all in one shot. Well, almost all in one shot, because Supreme will go down to about that much of HP. And that's when you have to attack the drone. So I'm only saying that really the only new interesting bits about Supreme is the fact that he has that they have all this bullet hell stuff and that freaking gun. And the thing about Supreme is that, like, we literally just dodge his laser. You don't get to do anything cool, like, you know, like block the laser and throw it right back at him. That would have been really cool to see. Nice junk shot, by the way. And thanks to modders who actually figured out that there was a lot more to Supreme than what was actually originally intended. Because Supreme was supposed to use their new their shotgun or shot laser gun in like cool and interesting ways. Like Supreme would just flash it all around the screen and you had to dodge it via QTEs, and that would have made Supreme like really flashy and cool. And Supreme would actually also fire multiple shots at Supersonic right before the final hit happens. But that just ain't it. It really isn't. So I don't know why they didn't use it. They really could have. In fact, if they had a couple more months to release this game and not be out for the holiday season, like maybe release in like January, February, then maybe that stuff would have been implemented and make it be really cool. But instead, you know, we just have Giganto 2.0 with new stuff. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's just not as amazing as the other Titans have been.
I understand. Go. Fulfill your function.
God, I just gotta say, like, Mike Pollock, man, he's an excellent Eggman. He's been so for nearly 2 decades at this point. And the way he sounds right there, I'm concerned about Sage, and just speaking so low. And he's like, go and fulfill your function. It's just, And especially this line coming up right here from Eggman, especially.
Be careful, dear daughter.
Ah, that's so good. Anyway, here's the end in normal mode. I bet you're wondering what this is.
He took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I need your help. We can end this. Please. Now or never!
And that's it. Yeah, that's the end fight. Man, Supreme literally is like the lamest final boss if you're in the entire like 3D series, because it's just Gigano 2.0. And then you have the end, which you think it's going to be a boss fight, but no, it's just a QTE and that's it. No Ikaruga fight. That's definitely not disappointing. I'm like, why didn't they patch this in? Like, at this point, the game has received its latest update, fixing a bunch of things in the Final Horizon update content, but not this, where easy and normal just have the QTE and only hard mode has the space shooter thing. Yeah, speaking of the end's whole Ikaruga thing, like, here's why I don't get how people will think that the end boss fight can be disappointing when it's a space shooter. Kirby. Throughout Kirby's history, there have been several games that had space shooter segments, and they were all cool, and they were loved by everyone. Kirby's Adventure, and the remake, Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby Superstar, and the remake too. Whatever. Oh, Return to Dreamland. Return to Dreamland with Another Dimension. And also its remake and remaster too, I guess. Yeah. Kirby games and the Kirby Star Allies' final boss had a gameplay shift too, and it was awesome. Even Kirby Planet Robobot turned into a space shooter, and it was so good! So, why of all things, why does Sonic, whenever Sonic does it, it's bad? Like, why? Like, y'all should play more Kirby games, dude. Come on. I mean, 2D Kirby games that aren't, you know, Forgotten Land, but you know what I mean. You understand what I mean, right? Like, when Kirby did the gameplay style shift, it was cool, but Sonic does it, and everyone's like, no. And some people are like, no. I'm like, why? I don't know. Maybe I just played too many Kirby games in my day, but, you know, you understand. You understand where I'm coming from with this. Like, again, I like the fact that it's that the concept of the end end boss fight isn't just chase down the boss again. It's actually unique, it's cool, and it's got great music. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Like, I get why some people don't really like it, because, you know, gameplay shift in Sonic, you know, that's happened to them one too many times, you know, I get that. So, like, from that perspective, I get it. I do. But, you know, if it works, then it works. So, I think that boss fight works. So, I don't think it's actually, you know, underwhelming as heck. Like, Supreme by itself is underwhelming, but the end is awesome. So, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what I like. That is indeed what I like in my Sonic games. Just tries to be different, and I think it works. Again, ultimately, your mileage may vary on that. But, you know, again, it's up to you. Anyway, as I'm just sort of getting all these memory tokens here, there is something else that I do want to actually talk about here. And it does actually go into... Well, let me actually go to Ares Island first so that it can autosave, and then we can continue on our merry little way of getting every single memory token, because, again, I tried recording this video, and I've gotten a little ways into Ares Island, getting all the memory tokens there, and as you can clearly see, I have a lot to go. Why me? Okay. So, let me just save up right here. So, after beating Sonic Frontiers, you actually get arcade mode originally. You do. So arcade mode is just basically a stage select of sorts, where you can just select a cyberspace level and then you can just go all in, just trying to get the best times. You know, it's your standard time attack mode. It's fine. But one thing I don't get is that why don't they add, like, why didn't they add, like, leaderboards? Like, not even the latest update changed that. Like, that's the one thing that I would change about this, is that online leaderboards are really cool, especially for Sonic. It worked in Generations. So I don't get why they wouldn't add a, you know, leaderboard system here. After all, everyone has already figured out the speed strats. Everyone's already figured out the speed strats to getting really good times in each cyberspace level at this point, using the homing stuff like the homing dash and the rail launch and, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I would have implemented that, please, if I were to change anything. I didn't get the best time, but it's fine. Oh, and by the way, that little rainbow-colored mark right there, that shows up if you use any of the speed strats like homing dash and whatever else. Originally, it was like a little asterisk that they added in, but instead they changed it into a little hexagon or pentagon-shaped thing. Is pentagon with the... Well, yeah, pentagon with that. So... I can't really say quint. I can't really say, like, quintilon or whatever, because... well, because that just doesn't make any sense. So, I guess that's something. And now the last thing I want to talk about is the Japanese version, or the Japanese dialogue, which, I gotta be honest, it's pretty interesting, I would have to say. Because you play Sonic Frontiers in English all your life. Like, you played it for like 50 hours straight, and then you watch the cutscenes like one too many times to totally understand what the whole entire plot line is all about. But then you go over to the Japanese version, and then you suddenly find out that story changes are indeed a thing. And I just think it's really, really interesting to talk about here. Because once you've gone over like Sonic Frontiers in English a whole lot, and then you switch over to the Japanese version, then you'll find out that they changed up a lot of dialogue, basically. And changed up a lot of story beats. Yeah, I want to say they changed up a lot of story beats. Oh, dang it, I didn't get the thing. It's fine. So, yeah, they changed up a lot of story beats. Like, for example, they changed up some characters' goals. Like, Amy wants to be, like, I think she wants to be more of a lovely lady to Sonic than, you know, go out and spread love around the world or whatever it was. So that was changed. And then one big change that I did find, however, was the scene where Knuckles and Sonic are having their big moment together, having their bro moment together. And Knuckles is on track of talking about his thing where he's like the last echidna. And then Sonic just completely shifts the conversation over to, hey, so, yeah, it's your duty to guard the Master Emerald, right? And then they switch. It's like a sudden conversation shift to that. And I don't know. It's just like a really weird. It's just like a really weird thing. Where it just seems like maybe like the English came first before Japanese. Or maybe the English tried to make the story a little bit more coherent and match the animations. Because, you know, how Sonic is like, you know, so do it, man, live a little, where he's all like happy and whatever. And then in Japanese, he's like, yeah, so you know about that Master Emerald, right? And then Knuckles is all like, yeah, I should definitely do my duty when I get my body back, or whatever. He's not all about, you know, yeah, maybe I should go out into the world, but first I gotta get back to normal. So, I don't know, it's just really weird. just really bizarre. And then there's Tails, right? Like, they kept the scene in where he's like, Sonic, am I a burden to you? And he's like, whoa, 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 dude. Oh, I mean, he wasn't like, whoa, 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 dude. Well, Sonic is like, whoa, 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 dude. But, you know that scene where, you know, after we get all the metal parts for that one engineer, Coco? They were talking about more about the weapon system than, you know, Tails suddenly bringing up the fact that he can relate to this Coco because of what happened in Sonic Forces when, you know, Infinite attacked and he suddenly went all coward mode. So, it seems like when Tails brought up the fact that, you know, does Sonic really need him? It just felt like it came absolutely out of nowhere and not like, you know, an actual sort of story beat where he could have related to the Coco, I guess. I don't know. So I don't know, like, I think for like the first time ever, I think like the English version of this story is more coherent than in Japan, because I don't know. I really don't know. And especially with, I think it's with Sage's dialogue too. I think it's with Sage's dialogue too, where, oh yeah, there's also another thing. Like, Sage keeps bringing up Dr. Eggman and referring to him as the Doctor, and everyone's like, what doctor are you talking about? And he's like, dude, what other doctor do you know? Like, what other medical guy do you know outside of Dr. Eggman who has a PhD in robots? I don't get it. I don't understand. But, there's also that scene where, Tails realizes what he wants to do. I mean, it's sort of the same in Japanese where he's like, I want to keep the peace my own way. And he realizes there are things that he can do and not Sonic can do. So I think that's cool, but I think I like the English better where he's like, I think I'm going to go it alone for a while and train up so I can be the hero that I can be, even though I prove it to it several times. I don't know. Weird. But, but then, you know, Sage is moved by, you know, their friendship, you know? And that's why she goes into a little bit more of a human-like state. And then in Japan, like, Sage is thinking about his, Sage is thinking about her, dad, like, Eggman. He's like, no, I can't let the doctor die, not like this. And then she cries about it, and I'm like, okay. Man. I don't know. I just find it like really interesting that I pay attention to the English script like so much. And the side stories are definitely still translated to English very well. I just think that the Japanese version's dialogue is a little bit too different for my taste. It's like, I don't know. It just makes me think of like the 90s dubs where they've edited 90s dubs of like kids shows like, you know, Sailor Moon where they edited down for kids, except, you know, the situation is more reversed where the English version is more coherent and then the Japanese is just a little bit different. I mean, not to disrespect any of the writers and like the original writers or anything. They did the best they could. They did the best they could. And in the end, it's ultimately their game. But I don't know. It's just that I feel like the English version is just the English version dialogue and the way that the story is presented just makes a little bit more sense in their animations and in their dialogue and whatever else. So, yeah, that's what I think. I've been waiting to talk about this for a little while, actually, because when I found out that whole thing about the like the English and Japanese dubs not being like the same, I just thought it would be like a little bit interesting to talk about, you know. So hopefully you get my meaning in like my confusing ramblings, you know, because it was far more coherent than in the than in my original take of this, where I decided to just scrap it because, well, A, it was the point where I got sick for a while, and then 2, you know, I just didn't really articulate my points very well. So, that's the thing. That is indeed the thing. Anyway, I'm gonna decide whether or not these memory tokens are gonna be worth it just to show off that one thing, because I know I have like a very long journey ahead of me to get every single memory token on the map, And let me tell you, the completion for memory tokens isn't on, isn't just for, various memory tokens that you can get in various ways, like looping and fishing. No. You have to get them on the map. You have to track them down, and you have to, manually hunt them down. Like a big old scavenger hunt, except it'll be absolutely torture, and I'm here for it. What is wrong with me? Anyway, that will actually about do it then. So, next time on Sonic Frontiers, whether or not I get every single memory token, it'll probably be up to me. But next time on Sonic Frontiers, I'm going to show you some of the extra things that you can do, thanks to updates. See you guys on the next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.